Hi, welcome to WW News. We're going to be your hosts today. I'm Gio.
And I'm Grace, and today we're going to talk to you about our profession, journalism.
We had one of our students go around and interview other students about journalism.
And so now we'll cut to the video.
Let me think of that.
I don't know. Man,
I'm Sal. I'm a sophomore.
Hi, my name is Aaron Yafet. I'm a freshman here at St. John's.
All right. Hi, I'm Gracie. I'm a freshman.
my name's Donovan. I'm a junior.
Exaria, freshman.
My name is Carlo, and class of 2023.
Samantha Wonder, sophomore.
Vasiliki in my fourth year.
Jeremy, I'm a senior.
Isn't it when it's somewhat based on like a recent post or social media related?
Journalism is the unbiased reporting of any story or any event that happened. It's like the reaccounting of the event. The story is like truth, false. You have to be unbiased, or why don't you report the facts? That's what I think journalism is. And
Writing, news articles maybe, and maybe magazines too.
My definition of journalism is someone putting an article out or something on something they want to talk about or believe in, and they want to get the point across to other people.
Because journalism would be the recording and obtaining of information of current events and the current state of affairs with, depending on what your focus or subject is, basically obtaining as much information as you can about a subject and then putting it into a presentable form where you can talk about it or show it to other people and help them understand that subject.
Journalism is like going out there and like, I guess other people going out there collecting information and then reporting it, I guess, in some platform.
It's like writing articles, like newspaper and.
I think journalism is just like people who write newspapers, articles, things for news outlets or journals.
Yeah, because usually when you're writing about anything, you're communicating any type of topic.
Yeah, I think that journalism is based in communicating stuff to the public.
Yeah, because you speak with people and write about it, and yeah.
And journalism and communications would definitely have a connection, because if you are communicating to another person, you could be giving them certain potential information that could be useful to them.
yeah, I think they're connected because it's a form. I think journalism is a form of communication because whoever is writing it, the journalist has to communicate to the masses whatever point or information they're trying to. So I do think they're linked. And also, like, news is a form of journalism because they report stuff to you unbiasedly, or for the most part, they're supposed to. So yeah, I think it's definitely
I
communication.
think journalism is a form of communication. So yeah, they're connected. Yeah, I think that especially now that social media has taken off, a lot of journalists are using it to promote the work that they've written or their broadcast work, and it's helping them to get more of a following and audience.
Yes, because these days people get their news from social media, so it's kind of similar in a way.
I think social media and journalism can have a connection if there is some sort of link that you're looking for between the two. Social media could be used simply for obtaining information because in our day and age, many people use social media to simply talk about whatever's on their minds or whatever's going on in their own opinion.
Yeah, because a lot of journalism outlets use social media in order to get the information across. But I think we have to be careful in what we consider to be journalism in social media because there's a lot of opinions in social media as well. So it's kind of hard to differentiate between what's journalism and what's just an opinion and what's like just being presented to give a certain point in like an opinion based.
And they do because we get a lot of teens, they get a lot of their information from social media, and that derives from the news, so.
Yeah, because sometimes social media can kind of be your type of journal, and you can post anything on social media.
No, not really.
No.
No, you're not.
No.
I'm not, I'm sorry. I'm not.
Okay, thank you.
On social media, I guess yes.
I'm subscribed to a couple of local ones like from my area, and then I'm subscribed to the New York Times and CNN and like all of the big ones too.
Now that you've seen the opinions of students, here's an opinion from a professional in journalism.
We were able to interview one of the journalism professors in the College of Professional Studies at St. John's University. Her name is Elizabeth Fondren.
My name is Dr. Elizabeth Fondren. I teach in the Division of Mass Communication at the College of Professional Studies. Specifically, I'm an assistant professor of journalism. We talk a lot about how journalism is really a process. It's the process of reporting information, editing it, publishing it. Journalism is information that is truthful and that people might not already know. It's different than other types of communication because our premise is really truthful information that is accurate, balanced, fair, and relevant to people. Yes. That's a great question. So you're asking a media historian. I think the biggest change is how people now have a stake in the information that they consume. Journalism, we talk about gatekeepers, used to be very much a top-down approach where we had, the gatekeepers deciding what information we see and read and watch. With digital media, we have a user-centric perspective where really the audience, as I said, has really a bigger share of not just consuming the information but also producing it. So we often see this with social media in particular, where journalists are actually not the first one to break the story. This happens by members of the audience. Journalists are often the ones who add context to information of viral moments, and so I think that the biggest change is really this user-centric. Social media is a type of communication that looks at fast, immediate, very visual type of communication, sound bites. And traditionally journalism looks at providing context, facts, quotes, perspectives, balance to any type of information. So often journalists still struggle with how do they combine really the elements of great reporting with the elements of great storytelling. So we see that some outlets do this better than others to really combine information with entertainment or storytelling. But I think that if we think about political information and the kind of revelations we have about social media science, that social media is not necessarily a good thing, but it has great advantages to tell stories. I agree with that. So I love my students. I think that what we have here is really a great mix of students with a curiosity in political, financial, sports careers. I teach feature writing, so I have a lot of students that are interested in the cultural world, which of course is perfect in New York City. So I really hope that many of my students right now will stay in journalism, but I know from experience that the field of strategic communication, public relations, is really a bigger field where many of my students are going to find jobs first. Oof, that's a tough question for me. So I don't study social media. I study really the history of news and newspapers, propaganda. But one thing I know is that those who produce information are constantly looking to adapt new technologies, new ways to reach their audiences. So I think that social media, in particular for journalists, is a wonderful tool to share their stories, to engage with their audiences, to also reach out to sources. So especially on Twitter, this happens a lot, where people send direct messages to potential sources. It's faster than email. So I do think that social media can benefit journalism as a whole.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of WW News.